Hello, Enid. I am Diana Hernandez, Communication Assistant for the City of Enid. With me is City Manager Jerald Gilbert. Thank you, Jerald, for being on.
Yes, thank you, Diana. Good afternoon, Enid.
Yeah, it's always so good to see you. So.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Now, updates. There's
Yes.
the opportunity to serve on the City of Enid boards and commissions. Applications are now being accepted for several of the City Enid boards and commissions. Do you want to go through the list real quick of what board commissions are accepting applications?
Yeah, I think this would be a great opportunity. It's a chance for citizens to help out their city by sharing their time and their expertise. And there's several boards that we have open if you want to read through that listing.
Absolutely. If you can look at your screen right now, the ADA Access Board will be on the very top. Now you can find this full list on our enid.org website, and you'll be able to find the full list of boards and commissions that that are accepting applications and their prerequisites if you want to look at that. Now the first one's ADA Access Board. There's also a Board of Directors of Public Library of City of Enid and Garfield County, Construction Board of Appeals, Historic Preservation Commission, Public Arts Commission of Enid, also known as PACE, and Advanced Development Authority. So this is really exciting. I know that there has been a huge swing of involvement in the community, so what a better way to serve your community. So go ahead and put in your applications. This is a great opportunity.
Yes, and when you do that, at some point you will end up on a commission agenda for the City Commission, who are the ones who actually appoint the members. They try very hard to get everybody that applies on a board, but sometimes there's only one position and multiple people that apply, so they'll vote. And so please don't get discouraged if you don't get put on right away, because there's other boards, and certainly the more that you work to participate, certainly the more I know that they'll feel like trying to get you on one of those boards, because they really do want and encourage, as we all do at the city, help from the public. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, all those openings are listed on the website, and the qualifications for the board. Most of the qualifications generally are just that you live here in Enid. Some of them are more specialized, like Construction Board of Appeals, where we might want a contractor that's a plumber, for instance. ADA, we may want someone that is has a disability to serve on there, because they can give more input. But yes, we encourage that. Thank you.
Yes. Now, for quality of life issues, now the City of Enid is known for putting on great activities for the community, like Haunted Gym, Christmas in the Park, community celebration. Now, with the COVID pandemic going on, what are those going to be postponed, or is that going to be closed and focus more on community? Other events like Oktoberfest that's going on Saturday, or First Friday, Oakwood Christian Church is doing a trunk or treat. Is it kind of like focusing more on those events this year?
Yes, I would say a little of both. We have definitely been, as everybody in the city has been, impacted by COVID. Events that the city has put on in the recent past, Haunted Gym and the Community Cultural Celebration, we're canceling those events for this year. They're very popular events, well-attended events, but we just thought, given the nature of the uncertain nature of the pandemic and where we're at in it, it's just not a good idea for us to be doing that. However, there are lots of events that are going on, many of them outside, that the city certainly supports. You just mentioned First Friday is coming up, Oktoberfest is downtown, it's coming up on Saturday. Trunk or Treat is actually done and has been done for many years by the Oakwood Bowl folks, the Mathis family and their sponsors. And so we're supporting that. People that go to Oakwood Bowl, part of that festival is outside. And we will also be doing Christmas in the Park this year, but it will be modified. It won't, it'll be more focused on having lighting displays that are facilitated for a drive-through as opposed to big gatherings of people coming to the park. Unfortunately, the Kiwanis rides will not be running this year either. That's not necessarily COVID related, although it's somewhat related. It's also related to maintenance issues, and so getting all those rides ready for next year there's some significant maintenance required on the train and the carousel in particular. So we have been impacted, but we still have events going on. There's still events going on at the event center as well. So we encourage you to support those events and come on out when it fits your schedule and what you're doing.
Great. Now let's talk about COVID numbers. Now I'm going to read you off two lists of numbers. One is going to be county-based and one is Enid-based. So for the county, confirmed cases 1,680, deaths 20, recovered 1,314, and active 346. Now for the community of Enid is 1,573, and deaths for confirmed cases of 1,573. For deaths is 20, recovered 1,237, and active cases 316. Do you have any input to share with the residents that are watching right now?
Sure, I would encourage residents to continue doing what you're doing and taking those safety precautions that have been recommended for a long time, everything from social distancing to wearing a mask when appropriate or when required in certain businesses, washing your hands frequently, and just taking those overall precautions. The city has certainly been impacted. We've been around 300 or so active cases for about a month now. I think today I saw the report we're about 316. We've been bouncing around. So we've avoided any big spikes recently. However, as we know, the virus can quickly cause spikes, so we want to avoid that. The mayor and I will have our weekly update call with the hospitals and with the county health officials, and we'll get any updates. But I think that's probably what I anticipate hearing, is that we it seems like we've plateaued a little bit. We haven't gone down significantly, but we haven't gone up, so that's encouraging. And I think that's a result of people taking the virus seriously and taking those precautions. I know the schools certainly are doing what they're doing. They've been impacted. Everybody knows the football game got canceled on Friday. So it's still a challenging time. We went up a little bit on our state COVID tracker system. I think we're around 43 cases per 100,000, something like that. So it's still a challenging thing. I think we'll all be happy when there's a vaccine. We've been told that maybe that could happen in the November timeframe, but even if it does, I'm sure that it won't be available to most of us in that timeframe. So we'll have to continue to practice precautionary measures. And so be cognizant when you go to businesses what their requirements are, and appreciate what everybody's doing. It's a difficult time. I will say that it feels like that we're somewhere around the middle of the pandemic, which is good news, because we're not at the beginning like we were back in March and April, and maybe the end will come faster. It is very unfortunate that 20 people have died. That's sad and tragic, and hopefully there won't be a whole lot more of those.
I agree. So the most important thing is to keep ourselves safe and each other safe by social distancing, facial PPE, and washing hands, and taking care of our health overall.
Yeah, I'd like to say that you guys did a PSA recently on masking. It's not a mandate from the city. I think everybody clearly knows that. The city has not mandated it, but the city does encourage it. And also local businesses and organizations and schools, the VOTEC, colleges, they require it in certain circumstances. So please follow their rules. We're certainly encouraging it. We're going to continue to encourage responsible behavior and precautionary measures with further public service announcements. So if anybody wonder what that was about, has nothing to do with the mask mandate, but it has to do with wearing a mask where appropriate. So thank you. That was a good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that video.
Absolutely. It's really a hard thing to do, to kind of steer away from politics, but at the same time focus on mindfulness. That if a certain person is wearing a mask, either stay 6 feet apart or wear a mask. Be mindful, and be mindful of the businesses and about the people who are really taking to heart about wearing masks. And so the city of Enid doesn't have a mask mandate. And so a lot of people are grateful for that. And but to still practice mindfulness, really, that's what that was.
I also appreciate Maggie and Ray from Garfield County doing bi-weekly or however often they're doing updates. I saw the most recent one. It looked like they might have been doing it from Garfield County. They had a whiteboard and they were talking about numbers, and they were keeping us educated and certainly keeping us informed. Testing is very important, so if at any time you feel like you have the symptoms, you need to go get a test. There's several places in town, the county, Express Wellness, Live Well, and then, of course there may be others that you can arrange through your doctor. But we definitely want to continue to test because certainly one of the statistics looked at is the test positivity rate. And it's based upon how many positive tests we have out of how many tests there are during a period of time. So I know one of the things that was mentioned at the last Monday conversation with the mayor and the hospitals and the county was that it seemed like the numbers testing were down. So that may be good from the perspective of maybe there weren't as many people that felt like they needed to be tested, but it's testing is much more prevalent now. The county's doing it on certain days, well, if not every day, and Express Wellness is doing it every day. So anyway, I think we've talked quite a bit about COVID, but I think we've all gotten used to seeing the updates and kind of we understand how it's spread and all much better than we did in the beginning.
I agree. All right, now let's talk about grass.
Okay, yes.
Now today is the last day that grass carts will be picked up for Monday. Now they're going to be picked up for the remainder of the fall and winter season on trash scheduled day, is that correct?
Yes. And so what that means is after today, and there's a picture on your screen, the green cart, you can still put your yard waste in it, your grass clippings, leaves, etc. But instead of putting it out on Mondays for pickup, put it out on your regular trash day. And essentially what that means is that it just goes into the same waste stream as everything else, and that's just due to the change in the season. And if anybody has any questions, please reach out to the city and or check our website or Facebook, and we'll certainly reinforce that message. So we'll still pick up your yard waste. I know a lot of times people wonder, well, hey, I'm still mowing my yard. You bet, me too. You can still use your green poly cart. You just need to put it out on trash day instead of Mondays.
Great.
Additionally, the leaves have started falling off my trees, so I know around town people will start raking leaves, and they can put those in the poly cart, the green poly cart, and it will also be hauled away on your regular trash day.
Awesome. All right, so starting next Monday, October the 5th, it's going to begin the Ward 3 cleanup. Now that is going to be every Monday for the month of October. Can you give us details about that?
Yes, this is a great effort from the city, from the Solid Waste Department, but with the leadership of Commissioner Norwood and Commissioner Zell. Commissioner Norwood has been a big proponent of cleanup, and you remember last year we did a lot of cleanup in Ward 2, and we got to a few of the other wards. But this year we're going to start with Ward 3, and we've got a different plan. The plan was briefed to the City Commission at the last Tuesday meeting, September 15th, and every Monday, starting, is it next week? Yeah, October 5th, Monday, October 5th, folks in Ward 3 can put out bulk trash at the curb. Now, when you put out your bulk trash, if it's things like mattresses or old furniture or things like that, you can put it out there. We want you to make sure that you keep it away from other obstacles, at least 10 feet away from other things like cars, mailboxes, power lines, those kind of things. We're also picking up brush, so if you have brush, you can put it out but keep it in separate piles. Because for us to be able to recycle the brush, we need to put it in a roll-off container that has only brush. If it gets mixed, then it has to go in the landfill, which fills up the landfill faster. So that's the reason why you see that we have some rules about keep the piles separate, trash and brush. There shouldn't be loose trash at the curb. If you have loose trash, it should be bagged so that it doesn't blow around, and we'd be able to pick it up. This is primarily for folks that want to, you need to get rid of something, an old couch or you got some junk in your garage you need to get rid of. You don't even have to go to the landfill yourself in that ward. So this is a concerted effort in the ward for 4 Mondays in a row. We'll move to Ward 4 in November, and then we'll take off December and January. Usually those are more inclement weather months, and we'll pick up again in February in some of the other wards. A good question some of you may have, and that some of the commissioners had when we talked to them, it was, well, then do I have to wait many months before it's my turn? No, you don't. If you have trash now or at any time that's bulk trash that you want to put at the curb, you just need to call us. You can call the solid waste number and they will schedule a pickup, or you can program it into, or you can put it into C-Click Fix, and we will pick it up. We'll be doing these things simultaneously as we do that concerted ward cleanup effort. We'll also be working our list of bulk pickups that people have called in. So people get the best of both worlds, kind of.
Awesome. Now, for the ward cleanup, now are there going to be additional fees with the cleanup?
No, it's free. Well, I should say you're already paying for it. It's a service that we're providing in addition to what you get, which is a polycart pickup every week. And so it's great. And whether you put it out to the curb or you go to the landfill, as a resident, it's still free. You get 12 free visits to the landfill if you do want to haul stuff to the landfill. But to take advantage of the cleanup at the curb, that's a free effort. That is a good point. If you are in some of the other wards and you do have bulk trash and you put it at the curb, there is a charge for that now. It's $20 for the first load, and it's $65 for the next load if it takes more than one load. So that is a big advantage of the cleanup, is there's no charge. So thank you for folks that looking to get rid of their trash for no extra cost. In Ward 3, starting Monday for 4 Mondays in a row, it's time for you to do that.
All right, it'd be a great time to get rid of some old stuff. Okay, now let's talk about the upcoming commission study session.
Yes.
Now, what is on the agenda?
Something that's near and dear to all of us in Enid: streets. We all know we need to do more on streets, and so we'll be talking about streets in general. We'll be talking about arterial streets. We'll be talking about collector streets and local streets, really local streets that we all live on. We'll be talking about ODOT projects and what those schedules are on big capital projects. And we'll have a 5-year plan with streets programmed on it. I realize that that list isn't written in stone. That list can be changed, certainly by the commission. It can be changed by us becoming aware that maybe one street should be higher in priority than another. But we look at several factors, like how much traffic is on the street, whether it has water lines under it or not, or sewer lines or other obstacles. So we look at those kind of things. We look at the condition. We actually grade the condition of the street. We do know that just about any list we come up with will be a valid list, because there's a lot of streets out there that need to be fixed. So we're really focusing on trying to do more and trying to help inform the public about what's next by putting a 5-year list out there on these projects, so that if your street's not on there now, you can see if it's in a few years. And if it's not on there at all, you can start reaching out to us and let us know, hey, we need to fix the list because your street's not on there.
That's right, I agree. That's awesome. Now, are there any other items on the agenda for the study session?
Yeah, there's several items. In fact, I'm going to refer to my cheat sheet here. Every Monday we do a meeting update just to see what we got. But we're going to be talking about a lot of things will be in consent, which are routine items that come up for approval. I know the city's employee health insurance is on there for a 1-year renewal. We have agreements for Cobb Engineering to do some work at the airport, and we've got a bunch of engineering project items accepting completed projects, awarding new projects like the golf course maintenance building. And we've got some Call Lake easements. Those are the primary things. On the study session, besides streets, we're also going to talk about, we're going to have a finance update. We're still doing good overall on sales tax. We're about 2.5% up for the first 3 months, July, August, and September of this fiscal year compared to last fiscal year. We're also going to talk about the skate park.
Yeah, that's
an exciting new development. We can talk more about in a minute.
Yeah.
And ERDA is going to be there to talk about some Elevate Enid committees that are committees that have been put together of citizens like yourself to give us input on different areas. For instance, on retail development, industrial development, infrastructure, downtown development, inclusivity, dealing with social justice issues and equality issues, and a couple other committees that slip my mind right now. There's about 7 or 8 of them. And so it'll be great for Lisa to give that update and for the people to hear what's going on with that. So that'll be a full study session. We are currently planning to be back in the council chambers for this meeting.
Okay.
But we always have to gauge how much public participation we're going to have. We want public participation. We encourage it. And we've been doing good lately because our ratings are way up. There's
Right.
lots of people coming to meetings.
Right.
And the real difference between City Hall and the Stride Center is the amount of chairs we can have and still socially distance. We can only do about 25 in the council chambers versus 100 plus at the Stride Center. So I think we're going to try to do the council chambers. And we'll finalize that decision before the end of the week when we post the agenda.
Okay, great. Now let's move on to the
Okay.
commission meeting. And
Yes.
what are the agenda items? What the items on the agenda?
Well, we just, I think I probably
That's what
was
you-
confusing. There was a lot of those items, a lot of consent items. One of the things we didn't talk about that will likely be on there is this discussion that's continuing about the city buying a building downtown, specifically
That's right.
the bank building at 401 West Broadway. I believe that it's looking promising that we're going to proceed with that for various different reasons for city and community functions, one of them being to really put together a youth activity program or youth programs. I know I've got at least a couple commissioners, if not more, that are very interested in that and have been for several years. And this is a great golden opportunity to have a place for that. I think there's also an opportunity to put some like-minded community places and maybe even some sections of the city down there to work and collaborate on business and development. So we don't have all the answers yet on what we might do in that building, but it is a good value. The bank is willing to donate most of the building so that the cost would be very small for a building that's valued at well over $1 million, probably over $2 million. We would probably get for around $250,000 of actual cash outlay, and that just makes it too good an opportunity to pass up on. So I don't believe we'll have the contract and lease per se on the agenda, but we'll have something on there for the mayor and commissioners to authorize us to proceed towards working those items up, because it's just a great deal. And the feedback from the commission so far is they're excited. We owe an asbestos report, which we will have sometime this week. There is asbestos in the building, so we need to know how much and how much it'll cost to remediate it, when we have to remediate it. And we already know it's got some maintenance needs. It needs a new roof, and we have an approximate cost on that of about $150,000. With all that, it's still a great deal, in my opinion. So, and I believe many of the commissioners will feel that way. So I think we'll continue to take steps towards adding that building. So that's probably one of the most exciting things on there, because almost the rest of it is consent items. So.
All right. Well, that's great. I am excited for that building too, especially for something to be youth-based in that building would be really exciting for a lot of collaborations within the communities. It's really neat. So closing out, is there any closing thoughts that you want to share with the residents that are watching?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure there's some exciting things going on, and unfortunately I left my list of things today at my office, and so I need to do better on that. But one of the things I wanted to talk about with the public is at the city we interface with a lot of developers and contractors that are doing great things in the city. And we have rules and we have ordinances that are based on laws and building codes that we follow. But we realize that we can be more user-friendly. We can maybe help partner better with folks that are doing those things. So we're making an initial effort that's going to continue to ramp up, talking to those people about what can we do better. And right now we've got no shortage of things that we can do better. There's communication's one of them. Scott Morris, the assistant city manager, who's doing a great job, is going to lead that effort. And so we've already spoken to a couple of contractors and gotten some good ideas. And we certainly are going to be working with our city staff, who are doing wonderful things, to try and improve the customer service we give and shorten the time from site plan to approval and permit application to building permit issuance. And so I don't know all those things that we're going to be doing, but we're going to be listening a lot and trying to implement as much of those things as we can. We want to be known as the easiest place to do business in the state of Oklahoma. So
I like that.
we've got a ways to go, but we're going to be working on that.
Hey, there's always room for growth.
Yes, and so that's one of the things. Let me see, is there anything else? We've already talked streets, near and dear to me and to everybody. We want to do better on street. We want to do more streets is the thing. I do want to throw out there, I'm very proud of city staff for many things, but the asphalt repair program, which Everett Glenn, Ashley Humphreys, who is the supervisor right now that is doing that. They just laid several inches of new asphalt down on 7th Street over by Cambridge on the east side. I know I hear a lot of times that we don't do anything on the east side. Well, I know that's not true, but we don't do a good enough job telling people, well, that's on the east side, and we're going to lay down some more asphalt on the east side. The asphalt program works really good for streets that are all asphalt to begin with, don't have curbs and gutter issues, and we're able to go in there and just clean up the street a little bit and lay down some new asphalt. And so we're going to really try to get busy over the coming months until it gets too cold to do it, really fixing some streets. There's a whole lot of streets in town. That'll be part of our discussion at the next meeting on a week from Tuesday. The concrete repair program, which we contract out, I think is going very well. I don't think you can drive anywhere in Enid without seeing some new concrete on a concrete street, which we're trying to more proactively repair with dollars that we have. So, and then finally, engineering works up designs on new local streets and on arterial streets, and we bid those out. So streets cost millions and millions of dollars, and I want to say something else too. Downtown Hotel is going along very well now. It's going very, very fast. If you haven't noticed, they've pretty much almost finished the parking lot. They're getting ready to work on the sidewalks on the east and west side. So I know the city has some responsibility in that, so we're going to be getting with them very soon on to partner with them to get that done. And it's a very exciting time that is, I think it's going to be done before the end of the year, end of the calendar year. So that'll be great for downtown, and it'd be great for our event center to have a place where events can come and they've got a close place where people can stay.
I know.
So I think that's probably it.
All right, so good things are happening. Good things are happening here in Enid. So thank you, Jerald, for being on, and thank you, Enid residents that are watching. If you have any other questions or concerns or ideas for a lot of things that are coming to Enid, make sure to share them with us. You can message us on Facebook or give us a call. Other than that, we will do another city update next Monday, same time, same place, 1:30. Thank you, and you guys have a great week.